Crossed over, took flight, tell the cameraman zoom in. I put you up on game, it's the podcast, tune in. Tune in, tune in, it's the Ace League podcast, better tune in. Crossed over, took flight, tell the cameraman zoom in. I put you up on game, it's the podcast, tune in. Tune in.
Hey, welcome to the Ace League. This is the commissioner, Will Lee. I'm in the building with three special guests today. We're going to be talking about all sorts of topics, but our main focus is going to be on mental health. That's going to be really important. I'm here with the CEO of Big Neil Photography, Neil Jones, in the building. I got professional basketball player Alante Finner in the building. I got professional basketball player Z Jones in the building. Look, we're going to give you a perspective. We're going to have men. We got men here that are not afraid to talk about the mentality of the things that a lot of people are going through in life that are afraid to talk about it. So hopefully this podcast is going to help you out, and you can sit there and hear something and share an ideology with somebody that they're going through it with you too. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, I just lost a friend recently here in Orlando. He took his own life. And he took his own life because he wasn't able to deal with some of the different pressures and stuff that comes along with, manhood, right? And so my question is to y'all, man, is that why do men have a problem admitting when they're overwhelmed? That's my question. Why do we have such a problem to admit that we are overwhelmed?
How do you admit it without being seen as soft? Yeah. I think more than anything, once you admit it, it's never forgotten. You know what I mean? So it come back, and you feel that way.
So you feel like it's being held against us?
Yeah. Instead of it saying like Z told me he needed help, I'm gonna make sure I check on him. It feel like if Z say he need help, he may feel like this nigga know I need help, and I don't want nobody to feel like I need because I'm a man. I can take care of myself, but truth is, I need help, and I don't want nobody to come back at me and saying, well, last time you didn't know what you were doing, so maybe this time. That whole thing like that, huh? It's just, I rather sometimes, I used to think, I just keep it to myself. But time has definitely shown different.
Okay.
For me, like, it's kind of hard for me to open up because, like you said, like, when you open up to somebody, it's like, they'll take that and run with it, like, take it as, like you said, being soft, like, so. Like me, I ain't gonna really open up too much unless I really know you, I'm connecting with you, like, you know what I'm saying? So, like you said, that soft stuff, like.
So that's a real thing that's hanging over everybody's head, man.
Yeah.
So
definitely pride.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that's the number one thing, especially in our community.
Mm-hmm.
I think African American men or men of color is afraid or see it as a downfall to say, hey man, help me up, that I need help. Any other culture, you see that.
I'm just getting better at, like, working on that, like asking for help, like, because it was tough for me. Like, I did that before, like, asking for help, and people, like, say they got me and then don't be there to help. So it's like, oh, I ain't gonna ask you for help now. Like, I had to really get it, like, by myself.
Is it that we are using each other as a ladder? Like, we just want to feel like we're doing better than the next man?
I think it's the next man don't want to see you doing better.
Okay, so so then that puts it into perspective, because then we can't explain our truth because it's almost like we're losing the advantage of saying that we might be doing better than you, right? Or we at least cast that image. But because I'm not going to say his name on camera because I just lost him a couple days ago, and his family is going through the grieving process. But the fact of the matter is, I used to hoop with this guy almost every day. And I've talked to him for the last 4 or 5 years, and we've had conversations about different things, and he never made it known once that he was going through depression. He was going through his struggle. And this ain't a black man. This is a white man. This is a white, young, 26-year-old young white man who was going through these type of issues, and I consider him a brother. Remember, I don't do that whole skin color thing, right? But for intensive purposes, for people to get a context, because for whatever reason, they feel like Will Lee, when he talks, he's only talking to a specific demographic, right? For whatever reason. But, they don't know what my background is, right? So with that being said, that is one of the things where I keep witnessing what we're doing. What we're doing is that we'll see somebody, but we don't want to let it be known like, yo, brother, I've been through this. I'm going through some stuff with my wife. I'm going through some stuff with my girlfriend. man, I need somebody just to hear me out. You know what I mean? And how come we can't seem to do that? Because one of the things is, I'm going to ask you this question. Let me just ask y'all this question. Have you ever felt insufficient? We're live on camera, right? But we're having real, true dialogue. Have you ever felt insufficient? Y'all are professional athletes. You've been, you know what I mean, at the top of the pinnacle, right? Have you ever felt insufficient?
Yeah, I think it hit real hard once I got married. Because I didn't know how to be a married man. And,
That's real.
you know, just being 100. And my wife is beautiful. She's very loving, kind, and everything. It had nothing to do with her whatsoever. Had nothing to do with my baby. You know, either of our daughters. But I feel like I have no idea how I'm not going to fail. How do I go to another man and be like, hey, I don't know what to do, man. You know, I can hold the baby, I can give my wife time, but that feeling of insufficiency, like, let me just go to the gym. I'm going to lift. I'm going to hoop. You know, let me get with the fellas and go to a cigar bar and just chill out. And I distracted myself from that insufficiency because you feel like there's no answer to this. And it's going to take me out, you know. But as a praying man, over time, I realized, talk to your wife. But it was hard. But yes, I completely felt, especially as a husband, first-time dad, oh, God, yeah.
Well, look, I'm going to be honest with you. Typically, when I bring guests here on to the Ace League podcast, a lot of them, you know, play real cowardly, meaning that they're not able to speak their truth. Like, I literally feel like I'm the only person willing to speak the truth. And that statement, what you just made, that's going to help some other people. They're going to hear that because that's one of the things that most men go into marriage thinking that they have it all figured out when they really don't. And we all know it. And we all know it in the back of our mind when we're going into a relationship. It's like, how are we going to maintain? Let it be a beautiful, bad woman. And we just sitting out there thinking like, why us? Why you? Like, most men won't admit that. But like, yo, why'd you choose me? You could add anybody, but why'd you choose me? Now, how am I going to keep this woman? Right? And they don't understand that a lot of that insecurity, like, because you'll hear a lot of women get on social media, these insecure men and this and the third. Well, you don't understand what kind of pressure that comes along with not just being a man, but you want to be the right man for them. We put more pressure on ourselves than anybody else, right? And then we have outside entities where we also know as men, we know that, like you just said, we're always looking for to outdo each other. So we're now trying to figure out how to stay on top, so this guy don't try to get on top of my woman. You hear where I just went with that? Sir. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's real talk. So yeah, I mean, I want to make sure y'all brothers get an opportunity. Have you ever? And if you haven't, that's fine. But have you ever felt insufficient?
To be honest, I haven't.
Okay. So you've always been, you know what I'm saying?
I've always been like very confident. Like, I always know that everything gonna get greater later.
Okay.
That's how I carry myself.
That's fair enough. Same for you?
Because I pray for positivity. So.
For the most part, yeah, I try to just stay positive in every negative aspect. Even when you're stuck in something that's bad, you just be positive and try to think of the positive outcome, you know. But honestly, insufficient-wise, it's hard. You know, we talking about this pro athlete stuff, and you know, when people say that they're pros and, you know, really making real money, you know, it's hard when you first start and everybody has an expectation on you. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you overseas, you should be in a Lambo. You know, or you should be coming right off the house. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go there. So for me, you know what I mean? Like, you know, coming out, you know, your first year and you're not really, when you don't come from, you know, going overseas, a lot of these dudes don't understand. If you're not coming from a big school, when you come out, you're not coming to no real bags. Exactly. Like, okay, yeah, you know, maybe $100K, maybe, you know what I'm saying? But
that's if you get paid by the organization.
If you get paid, you know what I'm saying? People don't understand that.
Just started again.
You have to be diligent and do that grind. But it's tough when you first come back and everybody looking at you like, you know, when you come from nothing and everybody else looking at you because you the first one out. Right. Like Frank Lucas, you gonna go buy the big house and bring the whole family up north? No. Everybody coming to Florida?
You know what's crazy? What's crazy is I was just about to ask that question, and my question was gonna be asked: as professional athletes, Is it more anxiety and stress, to sit there and perform in front of a hostile crowd, right? Or the pressure that your family members and things and the expectations of meeting that expectation? Which one? Come on, man. Andre, talk to me.
It's my dad every time, my mama every time. Oh, I could say I had 12 points. 12 points. She spazzing. My daddy like 12 points. So I'm like, y'all don't understand. I'm in Europe. In Europe, you have to share the ball. It's a team game. Mm-hmm. First of all, I had to sacrifice so much this year. Like I felt like my coach was kind of holding me back, but he explained it to me like, this is a team game. So now I'm averaging 16, 5 and 5, and like 2 steals, 2.5 steals.
Oh, I looked you up. Yeah, you doing your thing. Yeah. You doing your thing, man. You're making me proud, man. I've been sitting out there, been one of your biggest supporters for some years, making me proud. Ain't no question.
Yeah, that's just like the family thing. Like they be on me, like. So I'm playing to prove them, like I'm that. So that'd be big for me.
It's funny he said that about, and it's very important. It took me a long time to do this. What you base your success on, is it should be within you. You shouldn't let other people. And this is when life for me became so much more easier. When I let my family go and having that expectation of taking everybody to the big house.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Everything started to change. And mentally, it bothers you a little bit. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it makes you work. It just depends on what kind of man you are.
Let me ask you though, what about when they start guilt tripping you? And so you know how this works. Like if you, and when I say family can extend to the mothers of your children. Right.
Now listen.
Hold on. Those extensions, right? So what happens when they're guilt tripping you, saying that your child isn't eating or living the same lifestyle as you? How do y'all handle that? I don't know if y'all have kids or not, but you know what I'm saying? But
I got kids, and I'm actually in one of those situations, and it's different, but at the end of the day, even when you on that paperwork or you doing what you doing, like I'm not on paperwork, but I still send money. But I can't tell her, hey, take my son to the outlet and get him 10 pair of J's and do this and do that. I know he's taken care of. So whatever that money is for, I trust you to do that. That's a little different. It just depends on what kind of relationship you have with that person.
So I'm gonna go into what you just said. Like you think about these things. Like, and most basketball players, most football professionals, so on and so forth, those are our outlets, right? Those arenas, playing those games and everything else. Mm-hmm. Do you think, though, when you coming in with those type of mental things that are going on in the back of your mind, because like there's times where you go into a game, you just heard about a situation, now make sure you talk about, the things going on with your grandmother, people's family health and everything else, is that in the back of your mind, that's going into how it may be affecting your play. You see what I'm saying?
Of course.
Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
I lost 4 immediate family members, and just recently I lost my cousin, like around my birthday. So I had to play through that. Like my first cousin, he died in he was driving trucks and he died on the road. I think somebody laced his weed or something, but that I had to deal with that. So I had to tell coach about that, but I still ended up playing through it. So I just use all that pain and then just go out there and play. I don't let it go.
See, but that's the thing, Alante. That's the thing, and that's where I want this show to be proactive and be very open and honest. Is because listen what he just said. I just lost my brothers. You know what I mean? I lost my cousin. Things didn't happen. I lost 4 people that was close to me.
Granddaddy, my uncle, and my cousin.
Right. So you lose all those family members, and instead of him saying, you know what, I'm hurt right now, I need some help from somebody, what you say you gonna do? I'm gonna bottle it all up and I'm gonna use it as fuel. But at the end of the day, anybody who knows anything about how engines work is that all that gunk builds up at the bottom of your engine, right? Yep. And over the time you keep letting that gunk build up in your engine, it's bound to explode, right? It's bound to stop working.
I think we just had a big game, a cup game, right, Will? So before the game, I just started crying like crazy. I had to call my mama to calm me down right before the game and let me see my grandma for me to calm down. And I went out and I scored like the first 12 and like the first 4 minutes. Coach pulled me out, and then I finished like 20, but we lost by 3 in overtime. So,
but I think that comes with the weight of responsibility too, fam. You understand what I'm saying? Like you over there for a reason. You know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know that, and you also know that I can't fail at this responsibility for myself first, and then anybody else. So with everything going through, I hear what you're saying. I heard him when he said he had to hold it in. That was exactly what he's talking about. Find somebody to talk to. I've never seen another grown man, a grown man I looked up to, show me balance with that. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'll never forget. Y'all seen it when Isaiah Thomas had to play after his sister died. He tears in his eyes, shooting layups to one for the game. Because my wife said, "Why he doing that?" Because that's his job. And it's hard to tell a man who got to provide, don't go to work.
Man.
But see, that,
No, Will, to piggyback off that.
all right, come on.
All right. The same thing happened really to me. You know, my grandmother, who was on this chain, you know what I'm saying? She passed away the same night I was in a car accident. 69 stitches in my face. Staples, not stitches, right? The next week we had this big game, right? My grandmother is being buried at home and I'm on FaceTime. Like, I couldn't go home, right? Because I'm under contract. You gonna lose all this money, or you gonna
Possibly not get it again.
facts.
So,
You know,
so the responsibility of that, what you supposed to do?
No, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that the weight of that is still going to be there. Rather, he played his game,
Facts. Okay,
right?
yeah.
And he was able to distract from what his grandma was going through, the loss of loved ones and everything else for 48 minutes.
Yeah.
But then after that 48 minutes is over and you heading back to your hotel room and you think, or going back to your apartments over there and things of that nature, it's still going to sit back home. It's still going to sit there and be weighing heavily on your heart. It don't just disappear like that. So what can we do to address that part of it, right? I understand we got a job to do, right? We've all had loss. I've lost my brother in 2008, right? Got murdered right there in Pine Brook, right there in Lansing, Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Over weed. You understand what I'm saying? Shot right there on the stairwell. Lost my brother. April LeMans. You see what I'm saying? So I know what loss feels like. You see what I'm saying? I know what it feels like. I know how somebody suddenly can be just taken from you. That ain't never leaving. And you know why it ain't never leaving? Because they ain't never caught nobody to sit there and let that chapter be closed. Because at the end of the day, that happened in '08. 13 years later, ain't still nothing happened. And do you think anybody cares about it? Like, let's be honest. Do you think anybody really cares? So how do I handle that? You see what I mean? Talk to me.
to be honest, we kind of blessed as athletes to have an outlet.
That's right.
You know, outside of basketball,
Okay.
I picked up the piano because that's my peaceful time. For me, when everything is going crazy, and even in the basketball world, because when it stopped being fun, and he can attest to this, when it becomes your job, ain't no excuses. You can't come off the bench and say, "Man, I need 10 minutes to get warm." You ain't got 10 minutes.
Right.
You ain't got 10 minutes, or
You got
you
it now.
you 10 minutes away from being sent to the airport and going home. You know what I'm saying? So we're kind of lucky to have an outlet. Other guys don't have an outlet. My advice to people out there is find something that you enjoy, you know, whatever that is, healthy, you know, and go to that. You know, write in a book, write a diary. You don't want to talk to nobody, record a tape. All right? Those things can help. It can alleviate the pressure. We're blessed to have basketball and football and, you know, things happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get up 500 shots. I'm going to go shoot until I can't feel
Take
my
out
arm.
some of the aggression. But how long, especially for our athletes, right? Because we was talking about this pre-show, is that with athletes, especially, that thrill of competition, right? That camaraderie of your brotherhoods that's in your locker room, right? The whole attention that you receive as being professional athletes. You know what I mean? Right now. Because right now, you know, you're still in mid-20s and stuff, and y'all are still getting those accolades, and people are looking at you in a different light. Yo, you a pro athlete. You know what I'm saying? You doing your thing. That's Alante. That's Z. Y'all still eating good. Now when you get to my age, when you get to my age, when you're in your 40s and you're no longer playing.
10 years, nobody remembers.
So nobody is going to remember you, or they're going to not even give you those accolades. So when you show up to a gym now, you might be the second, third, fourth guy picked. Now remember, that hits differently. Gentlemen, trust me when I tell you, it hits differently. Like, you looking at guys that couldn't hold your jock strap, you know what I'm saying? Literally, are now talking about, I'll take care of him. Let me get him, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll go to you. Like, I'm telling you, that's real disrespectful. But what happens is now, what do you do with your mental? What do you do with your mental when you're outside of your leagues and now you no longer have that? And is those side things, are those side things like piano or things of that nature is going to fulfill that void? Because my thing is, and my suggestion, because we seen what just happened with Vincent Jackson, that because he had a lot of things. Remember, that's a Walter Payton Man of the Year award winner, right? So he did a lot of things in the community and everything else, but it didn't quite hit the same of having 100,000 people screaming your name and scoring and celebrating when you score a touchdown. So now what do you do to fill that in? How come we can't find insulated groups of people who we can trust that will support each other? Why can't we do that?
We talked about this before on the elevator up. Like, that's one of the hardest things to do. To take what's going to be as fulfilling. You know what I mean? Because like I was saying, when you're on the sideline and the Star Spangled Banner going, the Jets going over the game, and that adrenaline pump up in, you ready to go. Win, lose, or draw, you out there. You know, and when it's over with, you're just watching it, and you have to find something that is as fulfilling and as enjoyable. It's hard, but I had to tell myself, there's nothing that's ever going to take the athlete out of me. But I got different responsibilities. Like, I have a life to live beyond these 100 yards. I got a life to live, period. And trying to find that mojo in that can be hard. But like you said, trying to find catch around. I think like you can understand to say the right thing to lift you up. To say, man, you good, man. Let's go shoot. You good? Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Guidance, mentorship is key. Especially for middle age, for men 25, 35, 45. You need somebody to tell you.
To show you.
Look here, young fella, you all right, this is what I did. That's not there. It's just not there.
So, he said,
I say that's why I got Brandon, Dominique.
yeah, I got you. Got some mentorship, and that's a good surrounding. Having those type of brothers that surrounded and knows your struggle, know what you've been through, at least on the basketball end of it, that's great.
Having to
know what I mean?
It helps.
Yes, without having to explain it. So I want to move on to this next thing. According to the CRS reports, right, black men in the United States of America has the lowest expected life expectancy at 69 years old out of all races and genders. What do y'all think is the cause of that staggering statistic? What is you think the root cause is that?
Violence.
So violence.
Violence.
So I would suggest the pressure. Like, and I'm saying, gentlemen, like, we hear black on black crime all the time, right? That's proximity crime. That's a false. That's right. A false thing. When you hear that black on black crime, that's a proximity. White folks kill more white folks because they live next to those white folks, right? Black folks kill other black folks because they live next to those black folks. So that's a proximity type thing. But what my suggestion is that 69 years old, right? We having, I don't know too many gangbangers that are in their 50s and 60s, right? But yet somehow we are not typically making it to 70 years old in our community. So that's my suggestion. It's not necessarily violence. It's what's going on up here where we check out. Like, and I would think that it's the pressure systemically, the pressures of everything we go through, the from being profiled while driving, right? I think all y'all drive nice vehicles. I drive a nice vehicle. Even in my advanced age, I still feel profiled. I still feel, even with my license, registration, insurance, all right, there's still certain areas that I go into. And even as a 42-year-old black man, I drive a Benz, right? As I'm driving, I still see a police officer in my back rear view mirror knowing that I'm fine and legit. I'm still like this. I'm still like this. I'm looking in the mirror, right? So that comes as that's a stressor, right? And black men, we typically have the most stressors of every other community out here. But we never talk about it, right? Because we never could sit there. I couldn't tell somebody, right? Because I just made that statement. I drive a Benz. So now that means I can never go to somebody and say, look, I'm late on my bills. You see where I just did? You see what I just did there? You see what I just did? Right? I couldn't sit there and tell you that, right now I'm behind on some of my credit cards, right? So I can't sit there. Like Kanye, as much people call Kanye crazy and everything, he tried to let y'all in on this a long time ago. He said, man, look, y'all might call me crazy or whatever. You know, I got a couple of past due bills. I won't get specific, right? I got a problem with spending before I get it, right? We all self-conscious. I'm just the first to admit it. See, I just spit that bar, right? He tried to give y'all that secret. He tried to tell you that we're all going through it self-consciously. We know that if we present ourselves a certain way on social media, right? If we're presenting ourselves as we're doing fine, even though we got $100,000 worth of bills that we need to pay, but we ain't got but $20,000 on hand, we present ourselves in such a way where now I think we're eliminating the possibility for help. What y'all think about that?
That's real.
That's real. I think you hit it right on the head with and this is, it goes back to letting people put expectations on you. You know, somebody said to me, I seen this, oh, he got a Benz, but he live in this neighborhood. Oh, his priorities are messed up because his car costs more than his house.
Okay.
Always worry about
Other people things. If that's what satisfies this man as a man, I want to have a Benz, I want to drive more than having a house, then that's his success. That's let him do his thing. It's his business. You know what I'm saying? He do his own thing every day. So in terms of that, like, you can't really, you know what I mean?
But I think the stresses, like you said, they're always there, but because the stresses are always there, it's an unconscious thing for every black man. I'm a big black man. All right,
Gotcha.
I'm never gonna be able to shake that. I gotta present myself a certain way. Mm-hmm. I mean, my dad is a big black man. He told me that. He said they're gonna look at you and think something and make something up before you say a word. Mm-hmm. But if you talk to me, I tell for Google me, I got 4 books I published and wrote. You know what I mean? In 16 different languages. I run a business. I got a job. You know what I mean? I'm married. I don't cheat. I got two beautiful girls. I got a couple of degrees. But you got to get to know me to get that. Outside of that, that's a big black dude with tattoos. So I get what you're saying. If I don't put on a certain way, the wrong person may see me and kill me. I know it seems drastic to say that, but in the right situation or the wrong situation, should I say so? Somebody can say he don't mean nothing. He ain't nothing about to say blah.
Exactly.
I mean, that happened. I got arrested at 13 years old. Cop tried to beat me up. Because I got a bike out of the street and the car was coming. An undercover cop came and jumped up on me, tried to arrest me. I beat up the cop, and then I got beat up and arrested. All to find out, he was trying to move a bike out the street so a car could go. And that happened at 13.
No,
You know what I mean?
Happened to me at like 16. Cop pulled up on us. Like there's like 4 of us in the car.
Guns drawn, car stolen.
Back of my head.
Ain't do nothing. So I get with those stresses, but it's hard to block out stuff like that. So I get you hit on the head. Like, yeah, sometimes it eliminates the opportunity to even receive help. But in the same breath, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I can't put that cape down, fam. I don't know how. I mean, it's hard to.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I agree with you. I agree with
it's
you.
Hard to.
But if you, because that's going, I got that actually on the next thing that we were about to sit there and talk about. Because I actually gonna go there. What you had said, as far as having a gun put to the back of your head, I've been through that situation, right? Notice how we have a lot of similar stories, right? And as the black experience, like I like to call it here, you know what I mean? Like on planet Earth, as having this black experience, is that this is what drives me absolutely insane. What I see, we attack each other over some of the most minuscule things. And it's one of those things where, because like for many years we heard about the black and white thing, or the black and the dark and light skinned guy, situation, right? That was one of the dumbest things I ever heard. I was like, y'all never heard of Willie Lynch in it, huh? So y'all just never heard of that. So y'all never paid no attention, and what he said for the next 200 years is how you keep them separated. But no, they ain't paying no attention, because they still doing it in a playful way, but subconsciously they truly believe it.
It was rooted in us.
Yes, it's rooted in us. So we have this black experience. Like, people always say, oh, it seems like I'm always pro this person and pro that person. Well, I'm like this. They're in the same uniform as me. All you brothers right here are in the same uniform as me. Every single day, no matter what your economic status is. When you walk out that house, you wearing the same uniform as me. Every single day. And you have that reality that you have to deal with. And so I wanted to lead into what you were saying on the next thing is that this is a real question. feel free to answer it however you want to go. As a man, and I consider all three of you men, as a man, do you feel that you could be vulnerable enough with another man, or is that too homo? I'm just gonna give it to you straight. Can you be vulnerable with another man? I mean vulnerable, meaning that your wife, your girlfriend just cheated on you. You caught her in bed with another man, just that and the third. Because for those of us who ain't never had that happen, which I've had that happen to me before, right? Like I'm a real dude. You know what I'm saying? And so when I tell you it hits differently. Yeah. It hits differently. Who do you talk to about a situation like that? Who can you have that conversation with? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I open up to my brothers, like my guys, and I tell them they have to meet with me.
Okay.
As crazy as this sounds, ex-teammates. Guys, over the years, and Brandon Robinson is one of these guys that you just build a bond with these people and it's unbreakable. I've been knowing Arnold Lewis since 2014. Now, have I seen Arnold Lewis since 2014? But every time we get together, it's like he never left my sight. And
Gotcha.
you can't. Those type of people are the people that you need to talk to. Not necessarily saying that they're there in the moment physically, but you should be able to pick up the phone and have somebody
And be vulnerable.
and
with
be
them.
vulnerable.
So vulnerable enough to let all the emotion out wherever they may come. Meaning that if it comes to tears or whatever it may be, you can do that. Yeah. Because now remember, we started off this segment talking about just being viewed as soft and how we can communicate with somebody. And if we communicate and we soft, like you crying to another dude, some of the women may consider you being a bit weak.
Yeah, but fellas got that. They got a guy that they can talk to. I got my guy. He's a godfather of my daughter.
Okay.
My boy Mike. I mean, I call him no matter what. If it came down to it, I got to be careful calling Mike, because Mike will pull up.
Mike that buddy. All right, I got you. Mike that buddy.
Mike will pull up, but the fact that I know that he can or he would, that's love. You know what I mean? But that's just my dude Mike. But it ain't many. I'm be real. I don't know any brother who got more than maybe one, maybe two dudes. They're going to shoot pool with like that.
Okay.
Not only that, too, the person that you considering yourself to be vulnerable with, make sure it's somebody that's going to tell you something that you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
This is very important.
That's
very important.
Not no yes man.
You're not yes man, and the way you talking, you need to do it. You need to say somebody that's going to say, hey, rethink that. Maybe you should go this way or go this way, and you can respect that.
So more preemptive people. So more people not talking about they going to ride for you. More people saying, like, come on, man, don't do that stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, you tripping right now.
Yeah,
Right.
somebody see the bigger picture for you. Mm-hmm. Be like, chill out, fam. We got more to think about.
You said it best. Stop being around the bush, because it's not helping them at the end of the day. It's only
No,
hurting them.
it's not. It's not helping them, and it's hurting them, because I just literally lost a friend that way. It's by not picking up on the signals of saying, you know what, I'm going to let him do him. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to be my vulnerability. I thought he was okay because he was white. I thought he was okay, and that's my stereotype. That's because of my biases that I think that, a young 26-year-old white kid probably has it good. That he doesn't have the same stressors that I have to worry about. I assumed, which we know, when you assume something, you make an ass of you. So I assumed that he was fine. He's 26 years old. He's a white kid. He doesn't go into any neighborhood having to worry about being profiled. He doesn't have to worry about sitting there, going into a department store and being followed around. He doesn't have all these different things. This is what my assumption was, that life must be grand for him. Because as a black man, I can tell you, there's been a few times where I kind of thought, what would it be like to be white, right? I've thought about it. I love my skin I'm in. Don't get me wrong, but I've thought about it before. Like, what is that experience? Right? What is that experience truly like, where you can literally feel like I can walk down the street carrying a gun and don't have to worry about getting shot?
Entitlement.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I kind of wonder what that felt like. So I'm just telling my truth, because I assumed that he was okay. And me being a friend and seeing the little signs, like he might be going through financial struggles, or seeing the little signs that, something might be wrong, I never bothered to ask. And I end up losing him. And I'll tell you right now, I cried. I've never hung out with him outside of basketball arena, but I've known him for years. But the fact is that like I felt as a friend. And then if I consider myself Florida's honesty broker. Like I'm that dude. Like I'm gonna tell you what I think about you flat out to your face. You know what I mean? Like you ain't never gonna get no, you know what I'm saying, no sideways stuff with me. You know what I'm saying? If I like you, I like you. If I don't, I don't. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. That's just what it is. And so what's happening is that like when you lose somebody like that, and these stereotypes go into it, like y'all said, and that's very profound that y'all actually was like that. You get a lot of women who will view you in a lesser light by showing your vulnerabilities, by saying that, yo, this is how I feel about this stuff. Because you see it all the time. Like a lot of these women, and I see it on your posts especially, they be like clowns, right? Oh, these clowns. Man, you see that, right? These clowns. So when they're telling you, when a man expresses his vulnerability saying like, yo, this is how I feel about something, you get labeled as a clown. When in actuality, you're trying to survive in the skin that you're in without sitting there doing something that you ain't supposed to do. Because see, what ended up happening is, especially in our culture is, and I know this is with me, is that I let things slide off my back for so long, but I'm letting it build up. Like I was telling you, you letting all that stuff build up. My mom ain't feeling well, this going on. The girlfriend ain't been acting the way she's supposed to. The kids ain't right, this and the third. Like I'm feeling like I'm not, being the man I'm supposed to be. I thought I was going to be farther on in life than I actually am right now. And all this stuff start building up. I get onto the basketball court. First guy that shoots me a little mini elbow. Boom, I'm gone. Like, I'm no longer playing the game of basketball. I'm on, my own focus is to sit there and clip that man. You know what I'm saying? To do something to him. You see what I mean? So now, even if my release is not becoming my release, and I ain't the only one here. Y'all all are athletes. I ain't the only one that has had that happen, where it spilled over into our place of relaxation and into our craft, right? You see what I'm saying? Because of all the stuff that we carrying. Like that's why when things happen, and I see on the court, like, at the Ace, like I watch certain people. Like I know each one of the players that play in my league, and I know their personalities and everything else. When I see them out of character, I know something's going on. You know what I'm saying? I know something's going on. And that's when I typically like to sit there and pull somebody off to the side. Like that's why I'm so quick to be like, get out. You know what I'm saying? Like I give it, like you see me do that, right? Where I see something getting ready to escalate, y'all both get out. You know what I'm saying? Just immediately. Because it's not because of what's going on right there, but it's something else is going on that most guys ain't going to sit there and tell you about. They're not going to tell you about. You know what I mean? They're not going to just come out and say, yo, you know what? I just got laid off my job. I'm about to get evicted out of my crib. But I've been putting on this front that I'm a big-time professional athlete. And, you know what I'm saying? Right now, low-key, I'm hurting. I ain't got paid for my club franchise, which happens more than people want to admit.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? It happens a whole lot more than people want to admit. Or they don't get their full pay, or get paid late. But then it'd be like, damn, I've been sitting there telling everybody I'm doing well, but then how is this going to look, you know what I'm saying, if I got to come to ask somebody for a couple of hours, let me hold something, you know what I mean, until I can get right. But I don't even know when I'm going to get right. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's real truth, but we can't have that conversation because people don't give us the space to have that conversation.
I think it's important that we all understand. I had to learn this. Set your own standard and keep it. You set your standards, you set your block, and that's what it is, period. And you got to be mindful of guard your heart with all diligence and what the words say. But you got to guard your mind too. And then you have to be honest with yourself. This is what I can afford. This is what my budget is. I'm staying in this. I used to go out and do whatever because I love J's, I love shoes, but
my lane.
I can't get out the lane. I gotta save money now. I gotta do stuff different, and you gotta build that discipline. So if and when somebody say, "Hey, I thought why you ain't got?" Nah, man, I'm saving up for another house. You gotta have your own standard and rock it. Period.
My car just got paid off. I'm gonna drive it to the wheels.
For real. That's it. That's real though. That's real. Flat out. I ain't never try to keep up with the Joneses. I buy what I like. You know what I'm saying? And after that, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you. If you got the 2021, man, salute to you. God bless you. You do keep on doing, keep riding. I'm happy for you.
Do your thing, bro.
That's it.
Just be happy for the next guy. I think a lot of guys if a lot of guys knew that the next guy was happy for him in whatever light it is,
Celebrating them, yes.
then he would be more mentally happy. Yeah, man. You know my guy, man. This my guy. This my guy. They rooting for me. You know what I'm saying? A personal story. I called B when I first tore my Achilles. I called B when I got home. My leg was numb. Like I couldn't feel my leg, and I was like, bro, I just don't know if I'm gonna ever get back to where I was. Like I'm crying, boo-hooing, and he's just like, man, like you gonna be all right, bro. You still got it. You know what I'm saying? All positivity, all positive. I know this man pulling for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Like, look, remember, I didn't know who Brandon Robinson was personally until last year. Like, and I've talked to him. Like, we've had a few conversations since then. Obviously, you know, we text all the time and all that type of deal. I'm starting to like that brother more and more. Like I'm just let me just tell you. Like, I'm starting to like that brother more and more because, like, you gotta understand something. You know, I talk to so many professional hoopers from around the globe, right? And, you know, people have these different ideologies of what they say a person is. Because what came along with B before I actually met with him and talked with him, and I told him this, that they said he was arrogant, said he was self-centered, said that he was a me guy. That's what they said. So then when I got to talking to him and I start seeing how he moves and how everybody sits there and vouches that, yo, he a legit stand-up dude. And I'm like, yo, you see, that's why you get to know somebody. You see what I'm saying? You take the time to get to know somebody and say, like, yeah, man, like, wait, because I ain't got none of that vibe from him. Like, he's always been a stand-up dude since I met him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, since I've been stand-up dude, and then I keep hearing y'all stories, and then, like I said, I've had my dealings with him and talking to him and everything else. Now, you got to understand, Brandon Robinson been doing this a long time. Professional athlete, long time, like you said. Scored 70 in the China game. I don't give a damn who. There's some people I know that can't score 70 by their damn self. You know what I'm saying? Like playing against nobody, they couldn't score 70 points, right? And so what I mean is that he's a professional. He's been doing this a long time, and like that is one of those things where I get to watch the progression, and this is gonna be interesting for this coming Ace because you know there's some back talk. I know you know whatever. I'm gonna release that stuff later. Because you know I like to build up the suspense. But but we got high level pros and everything else, man. They've been talking good, man. But we had that conversation another day. But you know what I'm saying. But since we are on the topic of Brandon Robinson, I do this thing, and as y'all all seen, it's that time. It's that time, right? For start, bench, and cut. Okay. So what you're going to do is I'm going to give you 3 names of 3 outstanding players. These are all phenomenal players, right? There's one that you start. That person is going to be in your starting lineup, right? Playing majority of the minutes. There's going to be one that's on your bench. You still want him on your team because he's a quality player and everything else. And then you have to cut somebody. The person that you cut is basically what you're saying essentially is, I don't think you're better than the other 2. All right, now, some of y'all have been featured on Start, Bench, Cut before. So you know how this goes. Latte, you've been featured on Start, Bench, and Cut. You know how this goes. And we've seen those eyes before. You know what I'm saying? That you put your little emojis out there. So you know how this works. So I see you out here trying to read it already.
Man, listen,
out here trying to read
I gotta be ready. I gotta be ready.
He trying to read the paper already.
I gotta be ready.
What I'm going to do, since we've been talking about Brandon Robinson is number 1 from Clayton State University. So we got Brandon Robinson from Clayton State University. We got Kenny Brown from Ferris State. And then we have Adonis Henriquez from UCF. Out of those 3, who are you starting? Who are you going to bench? Who are you going to cut? Neil, we'll start with you. Out of those 3.
I've seen them cats play, you know, shooting with Ace. I'm starting Brandon.
All right, you starting Brandon. Okay.
But when he hard to get off. You said Enrique?
No, I said Adonis.
Adonis?
Yeah.
I'm cutting him.
You cutting him? And you going Kenny to...
I'm going to keep Kenny.
Kenny Brown to the bench.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go you, Z.
Who is Kenny Brown? Do I know this guy?
6'2". Yeah, 6'2". He's a bucket. Like, they got him listed as a point guard right now. He's over in Romania right now. And he's playing in the Ace this year. I just kicked it with him a couple times. So be careful what you say. You may have to guard him.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I ain't ducking no beat.
I ain't ducking no beat. I'm just saying.
I ain't ducking
Remember,
none of that.
These cats get tagged, and I make sure people know.
Yeah, but off the strength, I don't know Kenny. But so from those other two I've seen live, and I've gone against Adonis multiple times.
Okay.
I'm keeping B start, and I'm gonna
B-Star.
tell you why B start, because
Come on.
B does a lot more things than just shoot. People don't understand that about. He led China. He was in China, top 5 in every statistical category for the league. That's tough. As a 6'6" starting at the 4, we started B at the 4.
High post in.
At the 4. And he, bro, locked the man up. He was out there talking big cash. OJ Mayo cooked him. I watched it with my own eyes. That kid is special.
Okay. All right. Come on.
Udonis, I'm a bench Udonis.
Adonis.
Udonis played for he played for the national team. He's a bucket. He
okay.
got game.
That's my youngin. I just want
got
to make
game.
sure.
I ain't gonna cap that.
Y'all got to put some. You got to start putting some
But
respect on Adonis' name now.
Udonis is more of just a scorer. If I want more out of a player, I'm going Rob every time.
Okay. And so that means you cutting Kenny Brown.
Cut.
Okay.
Off the strength that I've never seen him.
All right. Gotcha.
Never seen him.
All right. So we're going to you, Alante. Come on, man.
Out of those 3, I played all those 3. I know
Of
all
course.
of them.
I know you know.
I'm starting Brandon Robinson.
All right. So B.
That's no question because he does everything. Like he got that dog in him. Adonis, I'm bringing Adonis off the bench.
You bringing Adonis off the bench.
6'6" sniper, certified. Like I love his game. I'm cutting Kenny. Kenny, to me, I'm gonna be honest. I think he's one-dimensional. I think he's just an offensive superstar. I don't think he can guard nobody.
Okay, look, I like that.
See, that's why I said
Latte got a little something to him now. That's what I'm talking about. And we're going to have this conversation and have it all the way. All right, so, Kenny, you heard it from professionals' mouths. They said that they wacky. All right, so let me see.
Violate.
So, I mean, hey, it is what it is. I mean, we got to lace them up like everybody else. So, like I said, cats see this. They use it as fuel. And you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Put the targets up there. But that's good, though. That's healthy. Because iron sharpens iron, right? All jokes aside,
for sure.
everybody that's played in Ace. Yeah. No. See, here's the thing. Everybody who's played in Ace this past summer, I've been watching what y'all been doing this year. Y'all been looking better than the year prior. Mm-hmm. There's a reason behind that. Because when you play the best, and I ain't talking about sitting in no gym just shooting in an empty gym. I'm talking about when you play against the best, it's going to make you get better or quit. There's no other option in between. You're going to either get better or say basketball ain't for me. Right? And since I don't think I got no suckers in the Ace, that means everybody going to get better. Because I'm looking at the numbers, everybody eating. I'm talking about everybody doing, you know what I'm saying, doing well. I remember you had that trip dub. You know what I'm saying? You reached out and you was like, what's up now, Will? Tell them haters. He was like, what's up now, Will? I was like, yeah, you caught that trip there. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I got you. Like, I ain't never been a doubter. You know what I'm saying? No question about that. All right, so if I got to do this, right, because I went back and forth, and obviously I was the guy that put these names down. So, I kind of try to do like players, similar players as far as score. Originally, I had Jalen Rice Jr., but I want to do him a little later. I got somebody for him. So, so I'm going to do Jalen Rice Jr. a little later. So, Dimitri and all y'all know that's coming. But what I'm going to go is, I'm going to go with my starter. I went back and forth with this. Adonis is one of my youngest. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've watched this game. I'm one of the people that, have zero doubt. You see what I did there? Right? You see what I did there? Right? I've had zero doubt in his game. Like I said, I've known him for years. He's been over to the house for game night, all that type deal. So, like, he's one of my youngest. So, it's one of those things where, like, honestly, I believe that he's like a Ray Allen type. He is a bucket, right? And,
Wait, Will, you think he can outshoot B? No, I'm asking. Honestly.
All right. Wait. Nah. I wanted to make sure I make this perfectly clear. Since I'm on camera, I'm on camera. Like, look, y'all know I don't duck no smoke.
Hey.
So I'm gonna tell you like this. I like Adonis. Very, very much. I think he's like a Ray Allen type. Like, he can pick pop, shoot that thing off the catch and everything else. Don't get me wrong. But I think Brandon Robinson is more like Paul Pierce, the truth. And so I got to go one. I got to go Brandon Robinson to start because he is a bucket. Like like you gotta watch how he plays. I watch how he plays. He gets to his spots, and he ain't the fastest dude in the world. He ain't the strongest dude in the world. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like he got the best handles in the world, but somehow, some way, he gets to his spot when he wants to get there, and he gets that thing in that basket with the best of them. All right, so he had Argentina right now, eating real good. He won the Champions League down there. Yeah. I think he had like 25. Yeah, he had like 25 in the championship game too, if I'm not mistaken. So with all that being said, I'm going Adonis to bench. And Kenny, no offense, my man. Like, we've had our conversations too. I love your game and everything else. But my man Alante got a point, man. And you don't play no D. So, with that being said, you know where we at. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I got a spot for you. You already said you was coming to join. So, I'm just telling you directly that, brother, I love you. You know what I mean? This is what the streets is talking. So, it is what it is. So, yeah, I got to cut Kenny. That is what it is. Now, I do the females. So, now if you don't know the females, but we also have the women's pro-am that's coming this year, and it's going to go simultaneously with the men. So I have three names. Brittany Lewis from Louisiana Tech. 6'2", forward. She's a bucket, man. Like I do my research on all these women. Some of them actually played in the pro showcase. Tiffany Hodges from Flagler. And then I got Jennifer George from Florida. A lot of y'all may know Jennifer George. She was a beast in Florida, and now she's one of the assistant coaches at Mount Vernon. All right? Out of these three, I'm going Jennifer George. That's like really no brainer. That woman literally led her squad in points, rebounds, blocks. You know what I'm saying? Like, multifaceted at the D1 level at Florida. She's a problem. All right? But I may be going in a different direction than most people understand. Tiffany Hodge, I just watched her recently. She played in the Ace Pro Women's Showcase. Yo, she is a bucket, and a lot of people sleeping on what she did as a junior. She was a walking double-double. She was the Andre Drummond of female basketball. She was 13 and 13 per game. Yo, she know how to move her body around, and she's still doing it. I haven't seen Brittany Lewis and see if she's still playing at this level, so I'm going to have to cut Brittany Lewis. All right? So, now, we're coming to the end of the show and everything else. Look, gentlemen, y'all make sure y'all put out your Instagram out to the people, man, so they can follow y'all, keep up track, because like I said, we obviously reach out to a lot more people, you know what I'm saying? So I'll start with you, Z. You tell the camera, you know what I mean, your Instagram information.
At ZTruth24, at ZTRUTH24.
My Instagram is AFenner1, AFENNER1.
Big_Neil123. It's big NEAL 123.
Man, and I'd like to thank y'all, man, for sitting in there watching. I don't even know what my Instagram is because I'm old. So, you know what I'm saying? I probably had somebody set it up for me. Oh, yeah, something like the privilege. Yeah. That's an old email from college day. That's really bad. Like, I didn't even know how to set that up. But y'all got any kind of events or something that's going on that y'all want to tell the people so we can get that out there to the public? Got anything? Anything? Nothing right now? Okay. All right. Gotcha. All right. Yeah. That's on the pop.
We working on something that's, you know what, I am going to put it out there. I'm kind of working on something possibly for the springtime for guys that are high level who are here who need good pickup runs. I want to put together a possible, kind of like a spring kind of Ace League kind of deal. So we kind of working on the details and, getting the insurance and the location and everything figured out, but look for it soon.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for watching the Ace League podcast. Be sure to subscribe to all our Instagram, YouTube, down below.